Hey, Warpugs. So, Dragon sent me something to check out, and this is done by FudgeMuppet. Now, I've seen one video, or maybe two, by FudgeMuppet. One was, of course, about Pillar White Drake, which, God, I was a fan of that guy. But this is on Dagoth Ur. What do I know about Dagoth Ur? Not that much, to be honest with you. I think he was in Morrowind. I'm pretty sure he was in Morrowind. Maybe? I don't think he was in Oblivion. But this is Dagoth Ur explained, the false dreamer, the Sharmat. Now, I know painfully little about Elder Scrolls, like deep lore. I know the extreme basics. I know the bare bones basics. So this is going to be kind of a dive into a character that I know nothing about. My knowledge of Elder Scrolls comes from two places: ESO and Elder Scrolls Online and Skyrim, which I'm the kind of guy that clicks through on quests. Guys, let's jump into this. FudgeMuppet's going to explain this stuff to us. Let's go. The False Dreamer. Or as Dragon calls him, the Funny Meme Man.
What a fool you are. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. How could you be so naive? There is no escape. No recall or intervention can work in this place.
Okay.
Come, lay down your weapons.
Alright.
It is not too late for my mercy.
Okay.
Deep in the ancient caverns of Red Mountain lies a demon, an echo of the past, an entity so powerful that it even threatens the three living gods of Morrowind. This terrible demon threatened the land with unending blight, a
And jazz hands, apparently.
plague to wash across the continent. It was only the prophesized reincarnation of the ancient Chimera hero Nerevar, the suitably named Nerevarine, who would prevent this terrible villain from having his way. This villain, this demon, was Dagoth Ur, the Sharmat.
Yes.
Foreign Dagoth, as he was once known, the Lord High Counselor of the ancient Great House. Dagoth Ur is one of the more complicated individuals of the Elder Scrolls lore, a being which both died but defied a death. Anathema to the great tribunal of living gods and the people who follow them. Dagoth is their devil, their great enemy. He is what threatens all. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scott from FudgeMuppet, and today we are discussing Dagoth Ur and all of the mystery that surrounds him.
It seems he has abs.
This was a highly requested video, and for good reason. It is tame to say that this guy is rather complicated, but let's waste no more breath and dive straight into Dagoth Ur, starting from only the most logical place, the beginning.
Of
Like
course.
most religions and gods, living or not, there is a genesis, a beginning, and then forth come those gods or angels, the characters of the mythology, whatever form they may take. As they interact and as a reflection of human nature, they often divide and fight. Like Lucifer, the fallen angel of the Christian faith, Dagoth Ur too had less than sinister origins. To understand the context fully, you must first be aware that the Chimera were an elven offshoot who worshipped the three good Daedra, Azura, Mephala, and Boethia, as well as their many ancestors.
Okay.
These Chimera in Morrowind, a place then known as Resdain, formed the great houses of the Chimera, and amongst them were also the Ashlander tribes. Without turning this into an intensive history lesson, I will fill you in on what's happening. Welcome
Go
to
for
the
it.
War of the First Council, an event occurring around the 700th year of the First Era. The Dwemer, aka the Dwarves, were having serious disagreements with the Chimera. The Dwemer were messing with the heart of Lorkhan, attempting to reach divinity, and the Chimera didn't like it. So the once allied groups turned on each other. The Dwemer clans formed their armies, and so did the Chimera Great Houses. The Great Houses, along with the Ashlanders, united under a great leader named Indoral Nerevar. This War of the First Council culminates in the Battle of Red Mountain, which in true Elder Scrolls fashion gets really confusing by giving us multiple versions of events, and it is often said that a dragon break occurred at this time, making all contradictory events happen at once, but then being reconciled in the timeline going forwards.
Okay. I haven't even read about this, and his explanation of it just made my head hurt. That must mean it's really, really good, okay?
Here is a little bit of trivia for you.
Let's
In a
go.
2005 interview, Douglas Goodall stated that during the development of Morrowind, there was no official account of what happened at the Battle of Red Mountain.
Okay.
When I was at Bethesda, there was officially no answer. No one knew what really happened. They may have made up their minds by now, but you'd have to ask a current employee. So at the time of the law's creation, even Bethesda didn't have an officially correct version of events. Anyways, let's try focus in on the common threads, and in particular, Voron Dagoth of the Great House Dagoth, so we can understand the essence of his character.
Okay.
In most versions, Voron Dagoth is a close friend and trusted ally of Indoral Nerevar. Details of Voron's early life are scarce, and it's not until the Battle of Red Mountain that he becomes a particularly significant figure of history. When Dumak Dwarf King and Nerevar fight at Red Mountain, the stories say they are both mortally wounded and or killed. The Dwemer around this point disappear as Kagrenac tried to activate the Numidium, so in most events, Voron Dagoth is then entrusted with the protection of Kagrenac's tools and the Heart of Lorkhan by Indoral Nerevar. It is important to note that in most versions, Voron Dagoth suggests that they should immediately destroy the profane and evil tools of the heretical Dwemer, but alas, Nerevar tasks him with their protection and prevention of their use, not yet confident in acting to destroy them. Nerevar leaves Red Mountain to consult the Tribunal, his advisors, and they are his Queen Almalexia as well as Vivec and Sotha Sil. He consults them about the tools of Kagrenac and ultimately makes them swear to never use them in the profane ways the Dwemer would.
Okay, so the most that I know about the Dwemer is I did not know about them attempting to attain godhood. I did know that they just vanished. I need to find out a little bit more about the Dwemer in order to really say anything. But I'm that kind of player in a game who doesn't read the quest notes. I'm just give me the experience, let's go. I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know why I can't just chill. In any case.
In other versions, Nerevar dies at Red Mountain, in others he is murdered, but regardless, what ultimately happens is Voron Dagoth is protecting the tools of Kagrenac and the Heart of Lorkhan. In some versions, Nerevar and the Tribunal come to find a crazed Dagoth, driven mad by the tools, and they fight, resulting in Dagoth's death. In other versions, post-Nerevar's death, the Tribunal approach Dagoth, but he refuses to hand over the tools, claiming they are too dangerous and only he can be trusted with them, but he is mortally wounded and driven off. But let's tie all these threads together. Through some manner, some experimentation, it seems that Dagoth Ur became connected to the power of the heart without needing Kagrenac's tools, in a way that even Vivec could not understand. Voron Dagoth dies, he is ended, but this strange and abstract connection to the heart does something even crazier.
Okay.
Hence, we have the creation of Dagoth Ur. Before we move on, let's get some necessary classifications out in the air. If you watched our video
This guy is like legit JoJo posing right now. It's awesome.
on the one true God, you might be familiar with the idea that the Elder Scrolls universe all exists within a dream of an unknowable being called the Godhead. When a part of the dream, aka a person, becomes aware of this fact, they either zero-sum, like the Dwemer, which is the understanding that they are in a dream and they cannot rationalize their own existence, therefore they cease to exist, or you can achieve CHIM, which requires a very big ego, and you need to be able to realize that you are in a dream and that you are part of a greater being, but still be able to say that I am and believe you are still you, even if contradictory to your understanding of the universe. We'll take that somewhat confusing concept and revert.
My brain is hurting. My brain is hurting with knowledge. I just can't put it. My brain is hurting.
Then we have the curious case of Dagoth Ur and the Anti-CHIM, as it is called amongst the people of the Elder Scrolls lore community. So I do have an afterlife video planned as requested by many of you guys, and I will talk about the dream sleeve more in that perhaps, but the idea is that when a person dies, their soul goes to whatever afterlife they believe in, and then eventually their souls are reset and recycled. But because of Dagoth Ur's unique connection with the Heart of Lorkhan, something odd happened in his death. He is stuck outside the cycle of death and reincarnation. He is awake in death, and when he sleeps, he dreams of reality, projecting himself, aka Dagoth Ur, into the reality of Mundus. What it
Okay.
boils down to is Dagoth Ur achieved the opposite of Kim, a so-called anti-CHIM, because instead of coming to the realization that he is part of the godhead and all a part of some other being's dream, he believes that all of reality is part of himself. It is for this reason when you destroy the heart of Lorcan, Dagoth Ur simply disappears. There is no body, no remains, no ectoplasm, because he doesn't actually exist within reality in the conventional sense. It's almost like Dagoth Ur believes he is the godhead-like being, the being in which all reality exists.
Okay.
Stick around, because I will try and clarify further. I get that it
Please.
sounds kind of strange, but bear with me. Let's read Sermon 15 of the 36 lessons of Vivec, and I'll chime in with commentary to guide you through.
Let's go.
There were the days of Resdania when Kaima and Dwemer lived under the wise and benevolent rule of Elmsavi and their champion the Hortator. So this opening line is referring to the time of the Kaima when Elmsavi, aka Almalexia, Sothasil and Vivec, along with their Hortator, aka Indaril Nerevar, ruled. When the gods of Veloth would retreat unto their own to mould the cosmos and other matters, the Hortator would at times become confused. This is saying that when the gods of Veloth, meaning the good Daedra, Azura, Mephala, and Boethia, would sometimes not be present, doing their own godly things with the cosmos, it left Indoral Nerevar without guidance, and this guidance would be replaced by his tribunal of advisors. Vivec would always be there to advise him, and this is the third of the 3 lessons of ruling kings. The ruling king will remove me, his maker. This is the way of all children. His greatest enemy is the Sharmat, who is the false dreamer. Sharmat here is what Vivec refers to Dagoth Ur as, and he is titled the false dreamer, alluding to what we were talking about before, the idea that Dagoth Ur is dreaming of reality, believing everything is him, but in fact everything is part of the godhead, the true dreamer. You or he is the shingle, Hortator. Beware the wrong walking path. Beware the crime of benevolence. Behold him by his words. I am the Sharmat. I am older than music. Older than music is alluding to his position as the ultimate being, the music being the fabric of the universe. This is implying he is its creator. It is part of him. He is older than it.
So a massive-ass narcissist. I love this guy already.
Because it originated from him.
Right.
Of course this is false, but regardless, let's keep going. What I bring is light. What I bring is a star. What I bring is an ancient sea. When you sleep, you see me, dancing at the core. It is not a blight. It is my house. I put a star into the world's mouth to murder it, tear down the pylons, my blind fish, swim in the new, phlogiston, tear down the pylons, my deaf moons, sing and burn, and orbit me. I am older than music. What I bring is light. What I bring is a star. What I bring is an ancient sea.
Great. Just what I need. I figure obsessed with his godlike abilities and obsessed with godlike powers, believing himself to be a god, and reciting bad poetry. What the hell, man?
You alone, though you come again and again, can unmake him. Whether I allow it is within my wisdom. Go unarmed into his den with these words of power. E gartok padome, kim e altadun. Or do not. The temporal myth is man. Reach heaven by violence. This magic I give to you.
It sounds very Black Templar.
The world you will rule is only an intermittent hope, and you must be the letter written in uncertainty. The ending of the words is Elmsavi. The final passage from the sermon is referring to Nerevar's incarnations of the Nerevarine, though you come again and again, and the Nerevarine's destiny to unmake and correct the wrong of Dagoth Ur.
Right.
It is also referring to the achieving of Kim reaching heaven by violence, but honestly, I feel that it would be better serving you guys by dedicating an entire video to the 36 lessons of Vivec, but for the meantime, let's stay on track. So we've established that Vorin Dagoth died, but has a strange connection with the heart of Lorcan. As a result of this abstract connection in death, as a soul in the dream sleeve, he dreams of reality and has come to the crazy delusion that all of reality is part of him, rather than he being part of the godhead.
Okay.
Dagoth Ur is then projected into reality and now threatens Morrowind. But why? Well, the simple way to find out is to read Dagoth Ur's plan written by the Tribunal Temple, basic objectives and steps that have been revealed through extensive interrogation of captured sleepers and other 6th House cultists. This is the Temple's best estimations of his intents. 1. Establish a theocracy in Morrowind based on the worship of the newborn god Akulakan, the second Numidium, to be created by Dagoth Ur from the heart of Lorkhan, and a body constructed according to the principles and rituals pioneered by the Dwemer Kagranak. Establish the ancient heirs of House Dagoth as the god priests of Akulakan, and the 6th House of Dagoth Ur as the dominant political power in Morrowind. Through charismatic conversion, unite the Dunmer under the guidance of Dagoth Ur to battle against the foreign animals who hold Morrowind in subjection. 2. Expose the false worship of the Tribunal and destroy the ecclesiastical authority and power of the Temple. 3. Extirpate all remaining individuals of inferior and mongrel races from Morrowind. 4. Drive the Empire from Morrowind. 5. Recover ancient territories stolen by Skyrim and Argonia. 6. Extend the worship of Akulakan to all nations of Tamriel through subversion and conquest.
Okay.
Many of these objectives are achieved with the Blight and the Divine Disease, also known as Corpus, carried along the ash storms of Red Mountain, as well as with the assistance of these 6th House cultists and his ash vampires. To put it lightly,
Ash vampires? Seems legit.
Dagoth Ur is actually insane, and he is incredibly dangerous because of his beliefs. His sense of entitlement to the domination of reality is spurred from the deluded idea that he is reality, or more correctly, reality is part of him. This makes him dangerous. His ideas, his motivations are not grounded in reality, and the fact that he also has godlike powers and is connected to the heart of Lorkhan only makes him more so dangerous. Of course, this great crisis is averted and the Nerevarine fulfills the prophecy, destroys the heart, and with it, Dagoth Ur. He is erased from reality. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Dagoth Ur explained. To be honest, this is the bare bones that gives you the simplistic understanding of him. The 36 lessons of Vivec, Dagoth Ur, Vivec himself, Kim, Amaranth, etc. It all
This is the simplistic. Like, my brain hurts from this.
gets really quite metaphysical and abstract, so it kind of makes it hard to explain them simply. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have left with a better understanding of the Devil of Red Mountain. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Give it a like if you enjoyed. My name is Scott from FudgeMuppet, and I'll be back to nerd out with you again next time.
Okay, so I didn't know much about Dagoth Ur before I had seen some of the memes and I had seen some stuff like that, but I didn't know that much about Dagoth Ur. I have a little bit better of an understanding of him now, but this is one of those things where I really lack a lot of context. I lack the context to really put it in a box. So, when he was talking about, when he was talking about the dreamer, the dream state, all this other kind of stuff, for me, this is a lot of this is the first time hearing this. I didn't know the Elder Scrolls, the entire universe was built on a dream. I didn't know that. So, well, there you go. Guys, thank you for joining me for this one. Big shout out to FudgeMuppet because the videos I have seen with FudgeMuppet have been outstanding. I think I've seen 2 so far. I might be wrong, but the one on White Strike was great. I want to see more of this because I love watching anything. I love checking out anything lore related. I love hearing people talk about things that they're passionate about, or presenting lore on things they're passionate about. It gives me some sort of satisfaction in my cold, dead heart. So check the description down below for FudgeMuppet. All of his links are going to be down there, including my own, including Patreon, everything else like that. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, my brain is going to collapse because that was so much paradoxical stuff in one video that my head has begun doing cartwheels, and my brain is getting wrapped up in its own brainstem. Bad things are happening. Send help. I hurt myself today.